morning, everybody. My name is Vincent Meza, and this is Listings to Leads. And this is our class usually about Facebook ads, right? But you may or may not know this. We've added Google software to our system. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, right? I'm talking about a lot of things today. One thing though, before anytime I start a class like this, I always like to make sure that you know the resources of where you can learn more on our platform. And so one of the really, I think, a great place to start is our mastermind group. If you're a new client, you'll see that we're going to give you an invite to get in here. And if you miss that invite, go into the support page in your account and ask them to get you in the mastermind group. It is a private group on Facebook. And with that, you can't actually find it unless you're in it. You will not see this group unless you're in it. So it's really a private place for our clients only. A lot of our clients share what's going on, what they're thinking about, what they need. A lot of responses or a lot of requests come through our mastermind group from clients like you, and we will turn around and update and add new tools as a result. Just want to let you know. And I would check out here, you'll see here on the 16th, yesterday, Scott put something that we are getting a new way of marketing listings on Google, which is a little bit tricky. And so we're working on the design of that because people don't typically look for a listing on Google, but we still want to try to take advantage of it. So before we talk about how to run an ad in the system, I want to talk a little bit about Facebook versus Google, okay? And why you want to think about or how to think about these two platforms. When we're running ads on Facebook, we can do that through our system here, and we're pushing an ad, and you can choose your listing and you can create an ad, and we'll look at it. It's going to show you the copy automatically. And somebody here said, yes, but no luck or leads. Tim, when you said yes, meaning you've run ads on both Google and Facebook, and also was that over the past month? Has that been like for many years? Just a little bit of background there. And I'm going to, while you're answering that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. Here's how you run an ad, right? You choose your property. We've written it. We're going to be using lead ads, meaning we're going to get pre-populated name, email, and phone number from Facebook. Okay. So this ad, as you see it here, it's sponsored by your business page and it's all written. And if I go over here to Facebook, and I'm going to go to Facebook here real quickly, and let me stop this. I have an ad blocker on, right? Like it's built into my browser. So it stops ads, including ads on Facebook. But when I turn it off, I see ads right here. Here's sponsored ads over here by the Warriors. And here is an ad for Smile Direct, right? Some kind of retainer thing, I think, right? That's what Facebook ads are about, okay? Like this ad that you see here is going to show up right when people are logging into the system. Now, when they're on Facebook, they're really coming here to go see what their friends are eating and the pictures of their grandkids and the birthday, but here's another ad, right? So as you're scrolling through and looking at all your old, college friends and high school friends or whatever, there are going to be ads mixed in with the system, right? With Facebook, right here on the news feed. Here is a performance of classical music. So so you got to think about it. What Facebook is a traffic site that has, I think the average American adult spends 40 minutes a day scrolling through it like this, just looking at all this nonsense, right? They do it on their phones. Here's Anderson Windows, right? You see it on their desktop. They might be sitting in a meeting, whatever, but a lot of people look at this. And that's a real reason why you want to run ads, because it's a highly trafficked area. I think the only place where people really spend more time is staring at the TV. TV ads are expensive. So here, the ads are really inexpensive and we have ways to get leads, right? And Tim's saying, yeah, I tried, but still no leads. Tim, are you using our system to run ads and still getting no leads? And while we wait for that answer, I am going to tell you that we are, with the change in interest rates, clearly the market has slowed down. I've had so many conversations with offices and agents around the country and places like Florida where they said, boy, they'd have 30 people coming through a house. And now they have two coming through a house. And lead gen has slowed down a lot as well. Do you think the whole market has to adjust? Market meaning home buyers, they have to adjust to new rates, right? And we've been living on super low rates for so long, and now we're going to get back to a normal market. So lead gen is slowing down a little bit, but people are still coming in. I do think you still got to run ads. And the way that I've done it, these leads should have name, email, and phone number pre-populated by Facebook. So if I go back here, you see here, and this is this Anderson window thing that says get offer. If I click get offer, I don't even know what's going to happen. I'm not going to click it because who knows what will happen. But on ours, it's going to say learn more. And when it says learn more, it's going to be, a window pops up and says, would you like more information? There's only one answer, and it's yes. And it says, yes, submit this info. And their name, phone number, and email are pre-populated from their Facebook profiles. So people are not typing anything in. It's just, boom, it's sitting there because we all have our name, email, and phone number in our Facebook profiles to access our own accounts. So it's a really good way. I think one of the cheapest and fastest ways of getting buyers is a Facebook ad. Okay. And Tim had said that, yeah, you're in Southwest Florida. And so I'm sure things have just dramatically slowed down with the hurricane. But even prior to that, things are slowing down because of interest rates as well. This is still what as I talk to realtors around the country, 6 months ago, you could list a home and it would be in contract in a week. That was a fairly common story, 4 days, things like this, right? Now you list a home and it's going to be on the market for a couple months. And so you definitely want to run ads, and it's a smart thing to run ads to tell your homeowners, hey, I've run an ad and 2,000 people saw that ad, right? I can tell they're looking at it. Maybe I'm not getting a lot of leads, but I have people looking at it and I'm working on it. So after you run an ad, the ad will actually sit on this page and you can see how many people looked at it and how many leads you got. Okay. But about Facebook, what I want to just make sure everybody understands is Facebook is not, it's not a Zillow, it's not a realtor.com. It's a place where we go look at all the fun stuff we want to look at, right? All of our bands that we follow. But then people are throwing ads. Here's a company putting an ad on some cool pants, right? That's what Facebook is. And if you've got something that's a value, an interest, they will respond to it, whether it's pants or a musical show or an open house or whatever, right? But what's different is on Google, when we think about Google, there's nothing to be scrolling through. This is not social media. This is a search engine, right? And I'm sure you know this, but I'm just going to state it. 86% of all searches on the internet happen on Google. Okay. Now, people don't spend 40 minutes on Google, right? But I do want to point out what's going on, right? One of the top searches is, how do I sell my home? That's like a big search trending right now, right? And you can go look on Google, or I'm sorry, I would recommend it if you're going to start thinking about Google, and you should, you can go find out, do some research and find out what are the most useful keyword searches. What are the keywords that people are using? Like, how do I sell my house? But when, here, I don't know if you can see this, it says there's 4 billion results, right? Now, I can tell you this is page 1 of Google. If you're beyond page 1, it's almost not like it's worth being on the internet, because nobody is making it to page 5. What happens is, I see something. Let's go look here, selling my home, realtor.com. Okay. And then boom, they're gone, and they're going to go surfing in here for a while. And maybe they'll go back and check out 2 or 3 sites, but that's how Google is. And what I want you to realize and think about is, if somebody has a question, they don't go to Facebook looking for answers. They go to Google looking for answers. Okay. And that's why a Google lead is often a more valuable lead. It is also a more expensive lead, right? But you go looking for an answer, right? Where do I get a tune-up, right? How do I get a new roof on my house, solar panels, new windows, whatever it is? I'm not going to Facebook to look for answers. We are taking advantage of the fact that people are there just for the fun of it. And your ads pop up. And if they are relevant to the people on the site on Facebook, well, then great. Maybe, yeah, I wasn't thinking of sunglasses, but hey, I need some sunglasses, that kind of thing, right? So that's a different way to think about Google versus Facebook. Okay. And I hope everybody understands that. Now, I asked the question here, and we've got more people on the call, so I'm going to ask it again. Have you run ads on Google and have you run ads on Facebook? And somebody said, yes, but in a different industry. And I want to say this about both Google and Facebook. I think in any industry, you have to have a Google strategy, right? Now, we have been using Facebook because the ads were cheap and because our clients, meaning realtors like you, are looking for people, right? People and there's so many people on Facebook and it's really easy. That's why we have focused so heavily on Facebook and gotten a lot of great results. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple things about the leads because I think one question often comes up. It's actually in our mastermind group. I'm going to pop over real quick and we'll talk about it, which is lead quality, right? And converting. Often people ask me, what like almost every day, people are like, what was it called? How do they ask that question? How do we qualify leads at listings to leads? How do we qualify leads? And let me tell you, we do not qualify leads. You are running ads. People are responding and they're responding just how I'm showing you now. And so are they pre-qualified to buy a home? I have no idea. You cannot target on things like what's their net worth or stuff like that. And that brings up another discussion. So you're capturing contact information. That's what we're doing. We're capturing leads for buyers or sellers. Now, there's a question that came in here, and I'm going to just point it out, which is adjacent, but I think it's definitely worth talking about. They said, I got a bunch of leads. And somebody here is just talking about their cost per lead, right? And somebody said today or a couple of days ago, and now I can't find it, of course, that they got a bunch of leads. And what should I do? What should I do? Should I call them? Yes. And Scott says yes, right? My partner Scott says, yes, call them, right? And if no, what should I do? And I wanted to respond to this because this is such a big, important thing about conversion. First of all, ask yourself, if you get a lead, should you call them? Now, if you've had any sales training or real estate advertising sales training, there's a concept of speed to lead, right? Speed to lead. You got to call that lead like in 5 minutes or 5 seconds or a half a second or whatever. Especially if you're paying Zillow Realtor.com because they're selling the same lead to other agents at the very same time. So, bam, you got to call them. But I don't know. I just got to sprinkle a little reality on that statement of yes, call them. I don't know about you guys. I have a phone that tells me every time I get spam. Like it says, here's a spam call coming in. And I don't answer it. I just don't. Every once in a while I do. And you know what? It's spam. It's ridiculous. Now, I do answer those every once in a while because some realtors get flagged as spammers. Maybe they make a lot of phone calls. I don't know. I go with it, but it often just bites you if you answer that call. But a lot of people don't take phone calls from numbers that they don't because they're tired of getting sold a used car warranty or whatever is coming down that phone. So speed the lead, calling that lead, I don't buy it. It's just my thought of this. And I've been in sales for my whole career. But I will tell you that this person here, Shane, really gives a great discussion. You should be trying to connect with that new lead 7 to 10 times in the first 10 days. A mixture of call, text, and email. Try to find their love language until you get one of two fingers, right? And that's honestly the smartest response. You should be texting people. People are far more comfortable responding to your text. They may say no, but if you call somebody in 5 seconds, if they clicked on something and you've got their phone number, You go, hey, I saw you're looking at that. They're going to, you know what the response is going to be. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that wasn't me. Because why? The sad thing which is totally realistic is like, they don't want to be talking to realtors. Maybe they're doing research, but they don't want to be talking to realtors, right? If I go shopping at Macy's and I'm looking at pants and I got somebody wants to help me buy pants, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go find pants. It's that kind of thing. So that's just a little bit of the reality. But that message right there about try to hit your lead 7 to 10 times in the first 10 days, I actually think it's 7 to 10 times in the first 4 days. And I know companies, CRM companies that are doing that. And we actually think a lot like that here at Listings to Leads with our own follow-up lists. So that's the first kind of concept that I wanted to talk about, the difference of Google and Facebook. Okay. Now, I am going to show you how to run ads, but before I do that, I also want to talk about something that's really big and important in the Facebook ad space. And that is that Facebook has had some new rules crammed down on them from a lawsuit as a result of a lawsuit from HUD. And let me ask just a quick yes or no. Have any of you experienced that? Yep. Any problems with that? And if there's just a yes or no on this HUD question, or of your ad accounts getting blocked, that's really what's going on. So I have been getting calls since September about Facebook started emailing agents like, you're not going to be able to run ads anymore. You're not going to be able to do this. And it really has thrown a lot of panic in the real estate space. And there's so many smart gurus out there saying all kinds of different things. And for us, we have a big position in Facebook, right? And we're not seeing any changes really. Well, the way that we run ads, we don't run afoul of things. We don't allow our clients to break the rules. But one thing that is happening, whether you're a client of ours or not, is that you might find your account shut down. And it's horrible because Facebook has almost zero support. So you have to like email and say, hey, what's going on? And I think what's going on, what I have heard, and I don't know if you know this, for every violation that violates HUD guideline is going to get fined $100,000. That was a number I heard. Just so I feel like what Facebook is doing is just slamming everybody down. Just, hey, shut down. If there's something that looks weird, shut it down and let that agent come back to us and we'll talk about it. Like an overcorrection, if you would. Yeah, let's see here. An overcorrection is happening. But what I do recommend, and I know this is the case because I have a client who owns a Remax office in Wesley Chapel. And their office account got shut down. And he's like, we don't even run ads on that thing. We don't do anything with that. We just put some stuff up there and colorful things. He goes, the agents run all the ads. We don't even use it. And Facebook just went and shut it down, And I've heard so many stories like that. And then you got to email Facebook and, hey, what's wrong? And you didn't do anything wrong. They just shut it down because they were just trying to be overly cautious in slowing this down. So if that happens to you, you're just take your time and work through Facebook email and find their support and get help to say, hey, I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't done any guidelines that are wrong. And there it is. When we're running an ad here, back to Listings to Leads, we do not allow you to run afoul of the rules of Facebook. We don't allow you to run discriminatory ads because we're working in the Facebook's software. So everything is done in the background. All you got to do is choose your property and go click and go, and it's going to happen, right? That's the nature of what's happening with the HUD rules and people getting canceled. It's a horrible support system for Facebook. One of the worst companies I've ever experienced. And I just feel it's just bad. And we even had our account hacked for Listings to Leads. And boy, we had to jump around. Fortunately, we were able to get it handled in about 2 or 3 days. But anyway, that's what's going on with the HUD stuff. If you're hearing that, you're hearing people get shut down. The world is not ending. It's just going to be tricky for a little while as they get through this period. Okay. So I want to talk on another subject And I don't know what your roles are there, but I had a conversation with another Remax office this morning, and I wanted to just show you something in case you don't even know this, right? I'm actually logged in as an office account. So now we're actually going to talk about how you run ads on Facebook right now. As, but not as an agent, although it's almost exactly the same process. But just to give you an idea, if you have a team account or an office account, if you go into your ads page, like I am on the left over here where it says new, this is where an office can run ads, and they can run the ads. Let's just show you, right? We can create an ad on a listing. We have all the agents' listings stacked up here. Right. Now, this is, I'm going to go through and show you what it looks like as an agent, but you can see they're categorized. So if there are a lot of offices that have a budget, they say, hey, anytime you have a listing, we're going to run an ad for $50 for a week. That's just part of our process. Right. So they can find that listing. They can leave it on lead ads here, which means it's going to get pre-populated name, phone number, and email. And they can make the decision. Do we want to run that and drive the leads to the office, or do we want to send the leads to the agent? That's the decision they can make. But let's click create an ad and see what it looks like once we've done it. And I want you to understand this. Now, I'm just talking about a team and office account. I'm going to talk strictly about agents, single agents, in just a moment. This page, Talented Real Estate Professionals, is the office account. Okay. This is the office Facebook business page. And that's the sponsor, right? That's the branding going out. It's not talking about the agent there. It's also charging the credit card that is on the Facebook business page for that account right there. Okay. So that's something that offices don't all know that they can do. They can run ads. They can pay for the ads on the company credit card just this way and drive leads either back to the office or straight to the agent, right? Now, also for an office, they have an agents tab. If you have a single agent account, and this is, you will not have an agents tab because you are a single agent, right? But here, now I can say, you know what? I'm going to click on that agent's listings because maybe this agent is really busy, but the agent has already gone in and connected their own Facebook account. So I can click at the, maybe you've got a marketing manager, right? And I can say, oh, they're connected. That's the agent's business page there. You can just publish right here and run the ad for the agent. It will be branded to the agent. It will charge the agent's credit card on the agent's Facebook business page. Okay. So there's two ways for an office to run ads here, and that's just useful. And whether that's an office or a team account, meaning there's multiple agents under this umbrella account, that's how you can do that, right? Now, I'm going to go back to the ads page and talk about Google. Google does not have the kind of APIs or software to help us do what I just showed you with Facebook, right? They just don't have that kind of admin thing, right? But you can go here and run an ad on a custom ad, on a landing page, and a listing ad we're working on. So I'm not going to talk about that yet, but I am going to talk about this one, landing page ad. I'm going to talk about, these guys have not created their own page. So I'm going to jump out of this office because this is actually a new office. So they haven't created any home value page. And I'm going to take us into an agent's page. So now we're going to talk more about just straight up, what does this look like as an agent, right? And if you're an agent inside of a big office, your account's going to look just like this too, okay? So when you go to your ads page for the first time over on the left as an agent, you're going to see two big buttons, and it's going to say, hey, it's going to say connect to Facebook and connect to Google, okay? So now when I go and I'm logged in as an agent, I'm only going to see, if I click on listing ad, I'm only going to see my listings, right? That's all I'm going to see. I could have sold listings. I could have pending listings. I could put in a FSBO if I wanted. I could borrow a listing from another agent and put it in here, run an ad, and still capture leads on it, right? These are the listings in my agent account, and I can do any of these. Now, I'm going to just point out, let's see here. I've got something that's for sale. So just so that you know the basics, I'm going to leave it on lead ads because I like pre-populated name, email, and phone number. and I'm going to click create ad, and it's all written. Everything is done. All I got to do is click publish. That's how easy it is. Okay. That's how easy it is to run an ad in Facebook. It's going to be sponsored by your business page. It's going to charge your credit card on your business page. And the setting is $35 for 7 days. So $5 a day. Okay. And that's cool because you can run that for sale or just listed or coming soon or open house, and you're going to get buyer leads. That's the fastest, easiest way to get buyer leads, bar none. Now, and I know we have to put the caveat that people are freaked out with interest rates. So it's slowed down a bit, but still there's a lot of people getting buyer leads right now. Now, if I go over here back and I'm logged in as an agent, there's also PDF guide ads. Okay. And we have, I think it's 80 PDF guides. So half for homeowners and half for home buyers. Okay. So if you have listings or you don't have listings, you can still run an ad and offer value to people, right? I'm going to click on a lead ad and I'm going to do the 5 dangers of overpricing because that's probably going to become a relevant topic if it's not already. And here we got to type in Naples, right? Naples, Florida. And now I could say, you know what? I actually would drive 30 miles. So I'm going to expand that radius. But now we've got a $50 ad. We make that higher. And that's because the price of leads for listing leads is set by Facebook, and they're more expensive than buyer leads. I'm going to talk clearly about that in just a moment, but there are 40 different PDF guides that you can run for homeowners that can help them get answers. And you as a realtor, that's what you're trying to do. Offer your service, offer your knowledge. You are branded on every page of every one of those PDF guides. So that's a great way of getting some content out there. You can also do a landing page. Now in this account, we have more landing pages, right? So I could say, hey, I'm going to run an ad on, and you can do, I'm going to do something on Granite Bay. This is a home valuation landing page. And this is how you run it. I'm just going to show you, here are the buttons to click it, but I want to be really clear with you here. This can often, for a number of clients, not work out well at all to run. Now, I don't know if you recognize this kind of click here to get your instant home value. That kind of landing page has been in the real estate advertising space for about 10 years. Many companies have it, right? Bold, Brivity, us. There used to be a company called Home Values and Prime Seller Leads or whatever, and they all had these home valuation landing pages. And then they learned when Facebook started to become a good ad platform, hey, let's run ads here. So you could go and say, hey, I want to run an ad in Dallas, right? Now your page over there on the right should be talking about Dallas, but then you do this, but there's a problem here. And let me show you this. I'm going to not type Dallas. I'm going to type in Granite Bay. Okay. Because that page, you can see it on the right. It's talking about Granite Bay. Okay. And it's got a 15-mile radius, and you can't tighten that down, right? Now, had we been talking 5 years ago, you could literally target people who own a home in that zip code. This was, frankly, an awesome ad to run, okay? Really awesome. But because of the HUD rules and some unscrupulous ads being created, that has been taken away. And that gets to a big problem of why that does not work very well. So I'm going to type in Granite Bay. I don't know if you know where Granite Bay is. It's up north of Sacramento, which is capital of California. And I'm going to just show you a map here, right? This is Granite Bay, this little gray area in the middle. And back out a little bit. A 15-mile radius is about everything here. Everything. There's a lot of towns there, right? So your ad that you're running is going to get in front of a lot of people who it's not relevant for. Okay. This might work. Let me show you another place. Now, I don't know where you guys live, right? I know somebody, it's down there by Cape Coral. So Cape Coral, this could be a problem, but let's just talk about, just so we understand, Elko, Nevada. You guys know Elko, I've driven, and it's this small town on Highway 80. because I'm an idiot. I've driven across the country 4 or 5 times in my life. But Elko is right about here. And there's not a lot around it. So not a lot of people are going to see it. So it can be a more effective kind of ad when you have like less dense area, right? That's when that 15-mile radius doesn't hurt you. But generally speaking, because you cannot target, it becomes a real problem. Now, at the beginning of the call, remember I was talking about resources that will help you. One that I forgot, which is actually the most important, is this page. I'm going to send it to everybody right now. I'm going to copy it right now, and I'm going to give it to all of you. And honestly, I recommend you save this. Let me click here, and that should be available for you to open and save. If you're watching this as a recording, you go to listings to leads inside of YouTube, you'll see our little logo there, and there's a page that says videos. And every class that we do is right here, right? Like I just did a get starting call just on Monday. It's sitting right here. If you're a new client or if you've been with us for a month or two, honestly, I would go check that out because that's going to talk about everything that you really need to make sure you're doing at a high level. But there are 3 classes that we always go into, that I always do. This class, which is Facebook ads, get started, and also the top tools for more listings. Okay. Now there's a class over here on new home value ads for Google, and you should definitely be watching that. But the reason why I'm taking you here is right here, about a month ago, it says custom audiences, how to target homeowners. This has to do with Facebook. And this is how you can make Facebook work really well, to make that kind of ad that I'm telling you does not work. If you jump through a few hoops, you do a couple more things, it will work for you. Let's see. And if we scroll down a little bit more, I cover it in 2 or 3 calls. You may need to see it a couple of times to understand what's going on there, but I'll give you the condensed version. You can buy a list of homes. You can buy a list of homeowners. And there's a company, I think it's called Remine, and they say, yeah, they score them like highly likely or medium likely. Frankly, I don't think that means anything, but you do want a list of homeowners, right? That's what I think. So wherever you get it, HomeSnap, maybe your title partners can get that for you. You get a list and you go over here to create an audience. And this creates a custom audience, and you can call it Granite Bay Homeowners, right? And right here is the format. So it's a really simple spreadsheet: email, phone number, name, last name. Your spreadsheet should look like that. It has to be at least 1,000 leads though. Okay, 1,000 entries in there. I don't know why that's a rule made by Facebook, but once you've done that, you can upload it, and that will live in your private Facebook account. It doesn't live in listings to leads. It lives in your account. So even if you left us, you would have a custom audience of, in this case, Granite Bay Homeowners. Then if you said, hey, I'm going to go create an ad on Facebook for Granite home values, and you've created the landing page, go over here. And I have one right here. And I'm just going to create an ad, and which we did before. There's a section down here that says retarget current leads, and it says custom audiences. Now, if I had it, and I don't think I'm connected here, if I had oh yeah, there it is, Granite Bay buyers, right? Now that's just because that's what we do. But you can see that's where your Granite Bay, or whatever it is, the name of your custom audience, would live there. You might have your own custom audiences inside of Facebook already. You will be able to target them this way, the exact same way. Just type in the name of the audience. This makes this kind of ad really powerful again, when you can target homeowners of a particular area instead of a 15-mile radius, which often does not work. So that's one thing about getting listings. So when we're talking about buyers, I mentioned the easiest way and to get leads is to run a Facebook ad. And we all know that buyers are sitting on the fence because they don't know what to do about interest rates. But all that being said, all things being equal, it is the fastest way of getting leads is go here, click create Facebook ad, listing ad, and do something that is for sale, even if you borrow it. But I want to concentrate right now on something regarding cost per lead. And I want to talk about this solely focused on getting listing leads. Okay. Just to be clear, buyer leads cost, I think, around $2.50 a lead. Okay. So if I run an ad and it says you got a $35 budget, if you divide 250 into 35, you can figure you're going to get maybe 20 leads. Okay. But when I run a listing ad on a sold property, which is what we definitely recommend if you want more, Facebook knows that's a more valuable lead to you. And so they tell you like, hey, this lead, you get a cost per lead. You'll see it. These leads can often cost $6 to $7 a lead. And it's not a fixed price. It's not the same across the country. I think one of the biggest factors is how much competition do you have in your market? So less competition, leads are cheaper. Okay. But when you're running an ad on a property that's sold, we often see it's about $6 to $7, okay, per lead. So if it's 35 bucks on your budget and you divide that by 6, I don't know, maybe it's 5 or 6 leads, right? That's what you would get. Okay. For that ad, you might get those leads. This is a 7-day ad, but you might get those leads in 2 days. And then it just stops spending money because you run out of budget. And it will email you and say, hey, you run out of budget. You can add more money if you want. And that's your decision. So that's a sold ad. Now, when we do a PDF guide, remember I was talking about that. And I said, hey, there's 40 PDF guides for homeowners, right? And if I say, hey, I want to talk about divorce, maybe somebody is going to get divorced in my area. Maybe I can give them this report, right? So you just type in the name of the town and let it rip. Now, again, it's a $50 ad and it's a 7-day ad. But when you run a PDF guide ad, as these leads, they think these are more valuable leads. So they are often charging about $10 a lead. Okay. So I mentioned when you run an ad that's sold, it's about $7, $6, $7 a lead. Now it's 10 when you do this. Okay. And again, that's not the absolute number. It changes all over the country. If you're in Manhattan, trust me, things are way more expensive like everything else. The leads are more expensive in Manhattan when you're running the same exact kind of ad as you would in Elko, Nevada. If I go back here and say, hey, I want to run that landing page ad. I want to run that ad for Granite Bay that we've been doing. And even if you're going to retarget, right, you're going to retarget with that list that we talked about. Now, I mentioned that this kind of thing has been one of the most longest running ads in real estate since social media has been invented. So Facebook charges the most for this lead. This lead will often cost $15, in between $12 and $15 a lead. So again, the same $50 for 7 days is now going to get you 3 leads. Okay. So I want you guys to understand that. And now I'm going to give you a couple pro tips here. Some of our clients started to realize that if they just market a listing that maybe isn't sold, but pending or under contract or active contingent or any of the later statuses, there's about 12 statuses in our system. Half of them are when they're pending. And then that's because they have different names in different MLSs. Like you say one thing in Canada has a certain way of saying a home is pending, or even a home that's sold, as in the United States. It's weird. So we have multiple kinds of later stage, but the point is, whether it's pending or under contract or active contingent or whatever, or sold, it's always going to say that's going to affect your home value. So to get your free home value, go here. And you know what's cool about this? Is Facebook doesn't know what to do with this. They don't know how to price this. And so we've had clients come back and say, we're getting seller leads for $2.40 each with name, email, and phone number. Okay. So if you're spending $50 and each lead is $2.50, you're going to get a lot of leads. In contrast, if you're doing a what is your home worth landing page, you're going to get 3 leads for 50 bucks. So I just want you to understand that there's a different cost per lead. This is focused. We're talking right now about seller leads, listing leads, and that's the deal there. I am going to say this since I have been concentrating a lot on this discussion just now about listings. There's a class here somewhere. I do it all the time. Top tools to get more listings. There are other ways of getting listings, a lot of other ways. And if you want more listings in your business, you definitely want to watch that class. Now, if I go here back to our page, you can also run a landing page ad for Google on Google. And this is one of the smartest things you should be doing if you want more listings. One of the top things. Now, I don't talk about it in that class I just mentioned because this is so new. This software has been added to the platform in like the past 30 days. So we're really tweaking and fine tuning it. But we do know that you can run an ad and you can say, hey, Granite Bay, California, and you can click view link and you can see the landing page we're going to drive to. You can create your landing page and run an ad on Google. And this is why this is so important. Now, I don't want you to go clicking on advanced options when you're doing this, but look at all the keywords we've got in there. Okay. We've got a lot in there. So you can add your own if you go find better keywords, but we've got them in there to help you to make this very easy, right? So you don't need to click it, but if you want to, you can go do some of your own research and say, you know what, these keywords are working in my state. I'm going to do this. And you can change it, but the ad will look like this on Google. And when somebody says, hey, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to say Granite Bay home values or whatever home values, that's the kind of search that's coming up. And we see all these things that are, there's home light, sellquickhomes.com, right? I'm running it right here. I'm in the East Bay. So you can see there's an ad that says East Bay area home finder, right? So somebody is in there. And of course there's Zillow. You would expect they got huge budgets. They're spending money all over the place. But that's when you run an ad like that and they see it, they click on it, they're going to drive them right to the landing page. It's going to answer that question for them. And you, of course, are going to get that lead. That's a really simple way of thinking about Google, but that's how it works. I hope you're all taking advantage of that. And I hope that actually, I know that realtors don't like to get too much in the weeds on things. Everything should be automatic and I want to set and forget. And there are some things in listings to leads. There's a lot of tools that you can set and forget. But those tools, they'll get some marketing, you'll get some leads, but it's not going to change the shape of your business. If you want to have your business increase like by 20 or 50 or 100 or 200%, you do have to use a big half dozen to a dozen of our tools consistently. And you will see that your business will grow. Even now in these crazy times. It's been crazy ever since the mortgage meltdown in 2009 to COVID 2 years ago. And of course, now we've got interest rates growing. All that time, this thing has just been working. The interest rates are definitely slowing things down for a little bit right now, but everybody's going to recalibrate. Right now, I'm looking at headlines like, oh yeah, interest rates are dropping. So people are saying that, yeah, maybe they're going to drop and maybe they're going to go up, but we're going to get used to that. And these are the kinds of tools that you got to be using to get there. So are there any questions? I've talked about a lot of things here. Are there any questions of things that you don't understand on how to create an ad and how, and the difference of Facebook and Google? And while I'm going to wait for answers, I want to point out that on the landing page section here, you can create unlimited landing pages. Okay. You create landing pages on, well, if you click this green button, you can see all the types. Property Valuation Plus is the home value landing page. And if you're building a business in 5 different towns or 5 different neighborhoods, you want to go here, click Property Valuation Plus, and type in the name of that town. Okay. And click Create Landing Page. And then that landing page will sit here looking really generic, right? This with a little cup of coffee and a laptop and a piece of paper. Don't use this generically. It doesn't make people feel comfortable. What makes people feel comfortable is, do you have a picture of a big landmark? And this is Scott's account, so he doesn't ever listen to really to what I'm saying, but I know because I set up offices and they tell me what's going on. This kind of picture here of like the area. Oh, that's not even working. Okay, so I just got in the wrong area. Let's see here. Maybe let's click view. No, he might have a video popping up. Yeah. So this can be cool if you want to have a video popping up, but you want to show the area. And let me explain to you what should be, honestly, from my perspective, on the back of a landing page. And I learned this from Coldwell Banker in Summit, New Jersey. When I set this office up, we talked about, hey, here's all the tools that you can use. And they started creating home valuation landing pages. And they came back to me and said, Vince, you know what? The number one landing page for home values in our office is the one with the Summit Diner in the background, which kind of flies in the face of what most realtors think, including what Scott thinks, right? He thinks a picture of a house in the neighborhood. Now, this is easy. Scott and we are in here all the time. But if you really are building a business, it's not a single house, because unless every house looks exactly the same in your neighborhood, you don't want to put a single house like that. You want a landmark that people are going to know. And I know, like in Granite Bay, there's some really distinct areas or distinct landmarks that everybody's going to know. This is in Summit, New Jersey, 24,000 people in that town. This is on Main Street, and it's the converted kind of railroad car thing, right? Everybody goes there on the weekends and they get their greasy potatoes and all that stuff, right? If you Summit Diner, Summit, New Jersey, right? That's what you got to remember. You're going to ask people for information, including contact information, and they don't even know who you are, right? I'm pretty sure when you're out there on the internet and somebody's asking you like, hey, give us all your information, you're not just throwing it out on every website that you see. So the photograph or the video can really create a bit of trust, right? And that's what you want to do. Like, I know your area, right? I could have a little drone video sweeping around town of all the hot spots, right? Whatever, you can do that. And that's what you want to be doing. You really, I think, while some of this stuff sounds like complicated, we got to be honest with ourselves. I think the easy market of real estate has vanished for a little while. I don't know when it's going to be like that again. Honestly, super low interest rates are not really something that any country should be doing for too long, but we've done it to keep everything alive when the mortgage collapse happened. I think we're going to start living in a more normal real estate business and real estate industry. And you're going to need to have a serious toolkit and strategy to grow and stay in that industry. We just talked about one area, Facebook and Google, and that should be part of all of your businesses, regardless of what business you're in. Even if you're cleaning carpets for a living or whatever, selling apples, you've got to have an online strategy, and Facebook and Google can help you do that. There are a lot of things here. Are there any questions? If not, thanks for joining me today. Oh, I do want to send this. Oh no, I did send that out. So I do want to send this. In terms of resources, this is another, and I'm asking you if there are questions. If you don't have any more questions, thanks for joining me. I'm sending everybody this link, which is Lead Gen Webinars. Let's see here. .com. This is where you sign up for our classes, okay? Like this class. And so I just sent that to everybody here, but if you're watching this as a recording and you want to be on the live classes, join us there. Sign up. Facebook ads, which is the class we're doing today. Top tools to get more listings. Get started. These are, if you're an agent, these are the ones that you want to have. I also recommend that you get on Scott's 8-session coaching series. It's free for all of our clients. It really talks about overall marketing and where all of our platform fits in there. And here's one last thing. Peter, wait, will we be able to see the recording? Yes. Did you get this, Peter? I sent this to everybody today. It's our YouTube channel. This call is being recorded, and this call is going to be right here where this first one is. Every recording training class we record, and it's going to go here. Do you have this, Peter? Otherwise, I can send it. I'll send it one more time but I know I just sent it to everybody. So it will be bouncing. Okay, you got it. Okay, cool. One last thing. Since you've been hanging out, I appreciate you staying with me. In about a week here in the US, a bunch of us are going to start eating a lot of turkey and mashed potatoes and all kinds of delicious food. And a large percentage of realtors are going to take a nap until spring. And the cost of leads, especially on Facebook, often drops by 50 to 75, and in some cases, even like by 90%. The cost of leads just fall because all your competition is gone. They're sleeping up the turkey. So if you're going to be in it next spring and you want, that is a great time to be advertising during the holidays when everybody is off work and they're home and your competition is taking a break. Your cost per lead is going to drop dramatically. It's going to go up again in January and February as people start to come back to work and stuff like that. But we see this year after year. I definitely recommend that you put that in your thoughts, because I'm pretty sure some of you are going to want to take a nice break to get the cold. I don't even leave my house after 5 o'clock anymore. So that's just a little pro tip. That's the reality of advertising and lead cost. So thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks, Peter. Glad you enjoyed that. This call is being recorded and it's going to be in this page on YouTube. It will be in our mastermind group as well, but it'll be here probably by tomorrow. So thanks everybody. Have a great day. And also, if I don't talk to you, have a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.